So what's up, guys? It's Miles back with another video. I want to talk about something I feel like this whole week I've just been thinking about this on a consistent basis. And Tuesday we talked about nihilism, the occasional nihilistic episode, and why it's needed and what it is, and how we get through it. But I thought 50 Cent had a really good quote or a really good verse about this that talks about this in depth. And I want to kind of just give my thoughts on this to add towards the end, but I feel like this is a very important thing, right? As you can see, the title of the video is Death Gotta Be Easy, because life is hard. I found out when you're striving for success, when you're striving to change your situation, you're going to struggle a lot. You're going to suffer a lot of rejection, a lot of suffering, a lot of alone times, a lot of people that do not believe in you or believe in what your mission is, right? Not to be malicious, but they just haven't done it in their own lives. They haven't seen somebody do it, so they believe that it's not possible to happen. Right. So let's talk about this verse right here. Very good verse. Guys, if you haven't listened to your classic 50 Cent, if you're a black person or if you're in a hip hop head, white, black, Hispanic, if you haven't listened to this song, you haven't listened to real hip hop or real rap music. Right? Listen to Many Men by 50 Cent, this song. If you listen to that second verse and that third verse, life-changing. Life-changing. So it goes like this. Second verse goes like this. Sunny days wouldn't be special if it wasn't for rain. Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. Death gotta be easy, 'cause life is hard. It'll leave you physically, mentally, and emotionally scarred. Stop right there. Stop right there. Death gotta be easy, 'cause life is hard. It'll leave you physically, mentally, and emotionally scarred. See, some of y'all think rappers just out there, just some random ignorant dude that just out there talking stupid stuff in the hood. Like, some of these people are the most intelligent people on earth. So let's break this down slowly. The first couple lines are basically saying we need a contrast in our lives to know what good is, right? We need the bad days, we need the bad times in order to enjoy life whenever we're having the good times and not take those moments for granted. Because the pendulum always swings back from good to bad times all the time. I talked about this on my Wednesday video. Check it out if you haven't talked about it, if you haven't seen it. So, death gotta be easy, 'cause life is hard. See, life is a mug, man, when you're trying to strive for success. A lot of people in here, or a lot of people in the world, really underestimate how hard it is to change your situation. Especially if you're in a deficit, especially if you've been brought up in a family or something like that where you haven't been wired for success, whether it become financially, skill-wise when it comes to a job, education-wise when it comes to schooling. Like, if you haven't had that growing up, it's extremely difficult to build it up. It's possible, but it's difficult. Especially if you got to find these things out by yourself, right? So it'll leave you physical. Life is physical, especially if you're a man. Life is physical. You're going to work yourself to the bone some days. You're going to work yourself to being tired some days, sore some days. Some days you're going to be up for a couple days in a row. It is what it is. You're going to feel physical pain. You're going to break a bone. You're going to, like, pain is just inevitable in this life. Running from pain, trying to get away from pain is like asking a dog it's like asking a dog not to bark. It's like asking a baby not to cry. Pain is inevitable. Physical pain especially. Matter of fact, when it comes to physical, mental, and emotional pain, physical pain is probably the best pain. Why? Because once you are injured, or some of you guys have had broken bones. Well, shoot, after you had the surgery and you heal up those extra 3-4 months, you're good. It's like nothing ever happened, right? That's just a foreign story you can tell people about what happened to you. But when we get into mental and emotional pain, that lingers around forever. Mental. You really got to be mentally tough. A lot of things you just got to suffer through. A lot of things you got to work through. There is no, this is easy and that's just how it's going to be. Some things come easy too. You don't get me wrong. It's not 100% bad all the time. But if you're if you're not looking for resistance in some area of your life, guys, I think you're being delusional. I really think you're being delusional and you're setting yourself up for failure. I know this sounds crazy what I'm about to say, but you should kind of look for you should kind of prepare for bad time. You should be looking forward. You should be prepared for it. You should go into every situation like, how can things go bad? Don't just look at everything going good. You need the good too. This is why our realism is so powerful. This is why being a realist is so powerful. Because a realist is 50% good and 50% bad. He looks at the pessimistic side and optimistic side. And prepares and makes a strategy and goes forward. Mental pain. I was reading a book in emotional pain. Let's talk about emotional pain. Mental, let's not all these together. So I was reading a book, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it's Sigmund Freud, The Civilization and Discontents, where he talks about, our struggle with ourselves. We're getting older every day. Our struggle with the outside world, meaning nature, right? The elements, having to survive and beat the elements in order to survive, to keep living. But the third one he talked about was our relationships with other people. And interesting enough, he said that this was the number one cause of pain. Out of all those other things, relationships with other people causes the most unhappiness. Whether it's from relationships, emotional pain, you've been cheated on. Whether it be a friend, you've been betrayed. Betrayed not just by your friend, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's your mother. Right? Maybe you've never been loved. Maybe you're like Loki, you never got the validation from your father. So you chase the validation everywhere you get, trying to get from your father. Maybe you never had a father. Maybe you never had a mother. Maybe she didn't really care. Maybe she was doing her own thing. Maybe he was doing his own thing. Maybe you have both of them together and it still doesn't work. That is emotional pain. Life is a motherfucker. It really is. You're going to feel pain in all three of these areas. It's inevitable. But you do not have to stay there. Right? So I go back to the title of this video. Death gotta be easy, because life is hard. And let's go back to these other lines. Sunny days wouldn't be so special if it wasn't for rain. See, guys, when you go through emotional pain with other people, when you get mentally abused and manipulated by other people, right? Some guys, even in your own thoughts, your brain is naturally deceitful towards itself. This is why you have to constantly question your own story, because the number one person you can deceive, and the number one person that you're easy as to deceive, is yourself. So keep that in mind. That's a whole different other video than this video I'm talking about right here. But guys, unfortunately, as human beings, we have to touch the stove sometimes to realize it's hot. What are you trying to say, Miles? We need to go through a period of bad times. We need to go through a period of bad people, abusive people, to realize the good people. We need to go through some bad times in our physical body, whether it be sickness, broken bones, whatever it is, in order to love the times that we're healthy and value the times that we're healthy. This is why mental health is such a big thing today. This is why being healthy and exercising is such a big thing today. Because when you go through those tough times, you know how to get through them. You know how to vent. You know to go to therapy. You know to exercise to get the stress off. So guys, I want to just come in here and talk about this, bring some value to you guys, because I don't want you guys, a lot of these motivational speakers and all that stuff and preachers, they tell you all this optimistic stuff, but guys, pain is inevitable. And I don't want you guys to just be overly optimistic, because that's a such thing too. I don't want you to be overly optimistic, but I don't want you to be deeply pessimistic as well too. I want you to be balanced on both. And I want you to be prepared and not be in delusion when pain happens. But always, like I said, this whole week, I want you guys, I've been trying to bear this through to y'all. The pendulum always has to swing back to things being good, and vice versa. So guys, have a good day. Have a good week. Think about this. Meditate on this. Go listen to 50 Cent's song. He has some other verses in here and other lines in here that are deeply, deeply purposeful. Think about this. Meditate on this. If you like content like this, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you on the next videos, man. Y'all have a good day, good week. Stay motivated. We out.